What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sass Cast. You probably don't know what that is because we haven't done an episode in, geez, I don't know, like 2 months, 3 months. I think the last time we did this was the PlayStation State of
PlayStation
Play.
Reacts.
Oh my god, that was a thing. So welcome back. This is the kind of traditional podcast we started out with a while back, but we have a pretty cool special episode lined up today. Kumail, you have massive echo coming in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
My bad. Hang on.
Yeah, you should.
Can you tell me if that's better? Is that
You talk, Gage. Talk.
Test. Oh, there we go. Okay, no echo.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. My name is Gage. I'll be your host today. Joining me on the left, we have Al, the Predator Tribesman.
Hello, hello.
Down below him, we have Kumail H.
Do you think I'm in an echo chamber?
Shut up. And then, actually, the overlays are different. Anyway, so Kumail's actually up there for you guys. But over there on the left, we have our special guest for today, Sims from the Nerdic Gods Podcast.
Yay!
I want to say, yeah, shut up, Kumail, but that seems rude.
Listen, when you're on the show, you're allowed to. It's fine. It's fine.
So, today's episode is going to be kind of a special one. We've been working on getting this episode set up for a while now, and we finally were able to schedule it and get everybody on. This episode is the kind of funny thank you special, I guess you could say. Basically, you know, we all kind of came together because of Kind of Funny and the community they've created. That's how we all met, became friends, started doing this, and over the past few years, they've obviously, you know, since they started, been putting in ridiculous amounts of work to be able to make the content and interact with everybody and make everybody feel welcome. But over the past year, especially with, you know, COVID and all that stuff going on, it was a lot more difficult for everybody. You know, just people not being able to go to work, not being able to hang out with friends, see family, things like that. And the fact that they were able to start working from home and continue making the same content that we all kind of rely on at times to help us get through the day, or just, you know, put a nice, you know, cherry on top to a good day. And they just kept stepping it up. Somehow every month they just kept doing more and more and more and more with, you know, more restrictions. They just kept powering through it and making the content that we all love. So we decided, hey, why don't we do an episode all about them, talking about them and all that fun stuff. And at the end, in whenever it is, might be kind of a long one, but at the end, we've reached out to a bunch of our friends in the community to make separate thank you videos to, you know, thank Kind of Funny and tell them what it means to everyone that they've been so consistent over the past year, especially. So stick around for that. A lot of cool people will be, you know, sending in videos for that. It's gonna be awesome.
Gage, can I pick you up on that? Like,
yeah,
you said, like, at the beginning of the pandemic where they were starting to put content out, but obviously it was a bit different from what we're used to. And do you remember how, like, and maybe this is my opinion, but yeah, the content was a bit rough. It didn't seem that polished, and like, you're absolutely right. At a certain point, the content just, you know, stepped up to the level, and I think Kind of Funny found their feet, and it's just so impressive. And like, a big thank you to them, you know, for, you know, the amount of struggle they put in to make sure that they've got a great product to keep us entertained.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, so probably, I guess we'll just kind of go around the table first and just get some initial thoughts from everybody. What I want to know from each one of you is where this started for you. Let me adjust my levels real quick. I think I'm a little bit louder than everybody, so I'm gonna drop my audio. Okay. Where did the whole Kind of Funny thing start for each of you? For me, it was back in 2015 in like June or July. So I wasn't like a fan of theirs when they were at IGN, but I was there towards the beginning of the Kind of Funny, you know, start, I guess you could say. And that kind of came into perfect time for me, because I was a fan of them for about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, before my dog passed away. So it was like right at that moment where it's like everything sucks, but I had just discovered these guys and they were already I enjoyed their content so much, but it just came at the perfect time where I was able to kind of distract myself from, life in that moment. Losing a pet always sucks. And then there was stuff going on at work that was fucking trash. Like, I'll just say that without getting into too much detail. It was a really, really bad experience at work. So they kind of came in at just the right time and helped me through an extremely difficult time. So I just want to know kind of what everybody's background is with Kind of Funny, how you discovered them, and some of the stuff they may have, helped you through or just made better. Al, let's start with you.
Let's see. I started with, I think it was Game Scoop, and then there was a guy who would start telling stories and start wheezing, laughing, and just lose control and start talking about like shit he would do at a Carl's Jr. parking lot. And I was just like, who is this guy? This guy seems interesting. So went to Beyond and then started listening to both podcasts, and then they're Up at Noon, and then I had a falling off with just like games media in general. Like life got in the way and shit. But I went through the darkest year of my life for reasons that I am not currently brave enough to talk about, at least publicly. But I was completely just like incapable of getting out of bed for days. It was a whole year of just unbelievable physical and mental pain. And that's when I rediscovered Greg Miller by just looking up I think it was like a Batman v Superman review that popped up on YouTube, and I was like, holy shit, Greg Miller has got his own YouTube channel. And that's where I fell in love with like Uncle Nick and all of that good stuff. But I swear to like all that is holy, I would not have been able to get out of what I got out of without Kind of Funny. That is honest truth. And I spoke to Greg when I got the chance about that specific time in my life where they lifted me up from a horrible, horrible, dark place. And I wouldn't have been able to do it. Maybe, probably, but just not as easily, maybe. And
It was kind of like a support, would you say?
yeah, it was a support system when I didn't have one, but I needed an additional support system, let's just say. And so that's why I flew to the London meetup. I flew like 6-7 hours to the London meetup, and I didn't find that weird at all. I went there alone, and a young gentleman right there just like reached out and found me and said, I want to talk to you. Let's hang out. And it's just everything that came out of this community has been positive and has been helpful, whether it's the guys or the KFBFs. And I was also I just wanted to mention that I told this to someone the other day. I think COVID and 2020 is going to be one of those periods of time where you're always going to remember who you spent that year with most of the time. And I'm so fucking thankful that it's you guys and the KF crew, honestly. That's all I have to say.
Well, that feeling's mutual. I can definitely say that. Kamel, I don't know if I've ever heard your story on how you discovered Kind of Funny, so let's kick it
How
over to
the
you.
fuck do I follow that up? I mean, no, I used to have a few friends, and I was part of this like WhatsApp group. Well, it's a BlackBerry.
You used to have a few friends.
Yeah,
Now
well,
he has
it was
none.
it was like a BBM group, and then it turned into like a WhatsApp group. But it was all about PlayStation, and I know one of them had recommended listening to Podcast Beyond. And so this is like a period of my life where I wasn't that into like games media and all that kind of stuff. Like I would have not known anyone in like games media. Like IGN, I'd only go to for like top 40 games on PS3 and all that kind of stuff. And then I listened to Beyond, and I was like, oh, this is great. And like my community, like university, was just me listening to Beyond and stuff like that. And then it transitioned to me listening to like Conversation with Colin and stuff like that for Kind of Funny. And it came to a point where they sort of broke away and did Kind of Funny full time. And I was deeply upset that Beyond was going away. But little did I know that my new favorite show was going to be Colin and Greg Live and like the morning show. And it became like a daily thing where I would finish work or finish university, come home, 6 o'clock, Kind of Funny morning show, 7 o'clock now, actually back then. Yeah, 7 o'clock would be Kind of Funny morning show / Colin and Greg Live / whatever it's called now. I actually cancelled that at that point. And yeah, I'd just listen to the show, hang out in the chat, and then I'd do this stupid thing of like making recaps of the shows because I was like, I wanted these funny shows to be put somewhere for history so we could always go back to it and like have a laugh with it. And yeah, and I used to just post it on Reddit, and that was like my kind of like touch point to the community. And like when the Kind of Funny forums was a thing as well, I posted it over there, and I've met so many people who used to like read those notes. In real life, and yeah, that's my kind of touchstone to Kind of Funny and what they mean to me. It's just that general entertainment I always got. Like 7 p.m, I could switch off from my day, no matter whatever happened. Good day, bad day, whatever happened, switch off 7 o'clock, and I was just there laughing my head off with their antics, like the Timmy Tammy Tommy story about a dad beating his son because he didn't get the bobblehead in Fallout 3, or like Chad that came out of nowhere, and yeah, all the shenanigans. So Kind of Funny's been like an extra set of friends that have kept me thoroughly entertained for the past 6-7 years, and I'm eternally grateful for them. And obviously through that, I've gotten to know some fantastic people. So yeah, that's what they mean to me.
Awesome. All right, your turn, Sims. Give us what you got.
I don't go as far back as you guys do. I always remember Greg for a Dead Island Riptide video on IGN. Like he was trying to be the first person to platinum it, and I was like, this guy's crazy. And then fast forward to 2017, and I'd listened to like podcasts, like Podcast Beyond, and mainly IGN stuff, and it was all like Scoville and Alana Pierce. And obviously that's only once a week, so I was just like on the Apple iTunes, it's like PlayStation podcast. It's like PS I Love You XOXO. Play it, and then obviously Colin and Greg's voice starts popping. I was like, I know that guy's voice, and it just became a regular Tuesday thing. I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, I'm really excited. Like, I love Tuesdays now. It's great. Horizon was around the corner. Breath of the Wild was around the corner. And I remember watching, I'm figuring out that it was on video format. So I remember watching Horizon. And then one Tuesday, it just wasn't there. And I was like, oh, maybe they just got a week off. Following Tuesday, wasn't there. Weird. So when I was like, I didn't do Twitter, I didn't do Facebook, I didn't do Twitter anyway. And I was just like, PS I Love You, why is it not there? And all of a sudden, it just like, why has Colin left? Why Colin has left? Didn't realize they had this like games casting going on. They had the Kind of Funny the morning show. And I sat there like watching on the bus, and I was just like, what the fuck? What is going on? And I used to do this long 40-minute walk from the bus to where I used to work. And I was just down, really upset. My manager was like, what's wrong? I was like, this guy that I really like on this podcast has left. And she's like, right. I was like, yeah, but it's like, I'm sad now. Like, I was genuinely upset. Like I think a lot of other things are going on. But when you just have that little cherry on top of that cake that you just don't need right now. And I thought it was my fault. And like this like whole me thinking it's my fault happens a lot. Like the FCF thing. Every time I'd watch it, they'd lose. You're laughing. You're all laughing. I don't appreciate the laughter, right? So the final game,
You're not the only person who's thought that, Sims.
I'm really excited. I'm watching it. I'm like, yeah, FCF. And Natalie's like, why are you watching this? You don't like American football. It's like, yeah, but Greg's doing it. She's like, right, Greg doesn't know everything. She loves Greg. But like sometimes I annoy her with Greg. I'm going way off tangent right now. So the other day, right, we're about to watch Godzilla King of Monsters, so Godzilla 2. And she was like, oh, should we just watch? I was like, why don't we just watch King Kong versus Godzilla? Because Greg doesn't like number 2 anyway. She's like, well, Greg doesn't know everything. I was like, yeah, you're right, yeah. And then we watched it. Great movie. Greg wrong. Who would have thought it? But going back to the PS I Love You, it just disappears. Like, it just disappears. And obviously, I get to the bottom of it, see the episodes, and then I start to get involved. I start to, like, try and watch a bit of the morning show, and I think I find Gamescast, and then Kind of Funny Live was happening around the corner, I believe. This is very vague. So then, all of a sudden, they announce Kind of Funny Games Daily. and I have never missed an episode. Never. Like, I can be 2 weeks behind. I will watch 2 weeks behind's news. Not bothered. And every episode is just means a lot to me. Like, every episode is just like Trisman says. Like, they've been for me like for the lowest of lows. Like, I had a job. I'm a chef, and I had this opportunity. Do you want to be a manager? Yeah, of course I do. Right, but the only problem is it's on nights. Okay, we can work through that. It's my dream. Like, it's my dream, promotion. I'll get to run a kitchen, get to have a good time. And it just went to shit completely. So, driving home at 3 a.m, depressed, don't want to be here. I'll be honest, not happy. But they're on the podcast because like I'm watching yesterday's. It's 3 a.m. my time. They record at 6, and they're just there, and it's just like even to this day, it's like do with him. I'm doing it with them. I'm like, I work in the kitchen, I work in a nursery, and I'm like, people will walk in. I'm like, like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, a baker's dozen, and they're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And when it comes down to the nitty gritty, like when they're like, if I'm in the lowest of low mood, they're always there. I'm always laughing. Every episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily, Gamescast, everything they do. Like, it was even when like in reviewing, I just like, I've not seen the film, I don't care, but I'm just there for Nick, just like because he's just gonna make me laugh. And then listen to and then I come across the Kind of Funny podcast, and I remember just listening to it randomly, and I remember Nick telling a story about he was on this train and these two guys just started fighting, and I was just like, this is not funny, but it's so funny. They mean that much to me. I got tattoos. Like, I got 2 tattoos, and my partner was like, why do you want it on your hand? I was like, I use my hands all the time. Everyone uses their hands all the time. I didn't, but like, I chop food, and like when I'm down or depressed or upset, like I can just look at them. Do you know what I mean? I just like it. They mean like it means so much to me, and like my life is, I'm a dad. And then there's that Kind of Funny. Like, I will not miss an episode. I will save episodes. I will. Going back to like Kind of Funny in January, when they did the video of them closing the old studio, like crying. Like, why am I crying? It just meant, and it was like they're robbed of that last episode. Do you know what I mean? And that was like they were robbed of it. Like, and it just. There's so many stories. There's so many instances of where like I just turn to them for just like comfort and just to be made to make laugh. And like I've learned, I don't fail to learn things. It's like I work in a nursery, so like there's these toy dinosaurs, and I'm just like, they got feathers now. And they're like, no, they haven't. They've got feathers. They've got feathers every time without a fail. They got feathers now. And I learn things all the time. Like, what was I saying earlier? I just learn. They're just my best friends, and they're approachable as well. Like, obviously, I've reached out, and I probably do get ignored in a massive wave of DMs that they get every day of abuse and love and respect and whatever. And I remember I'd started a podcast last year, and going back to Trisman, like meeting Connor and Daniel during the pandemic. And I've never thought about it until the moment you said, like, them as well as my family and Kind of Funny. They got me through it. Like, we used to just meet up every Thursday, talk about video games. But I've completely lost it. What was I saying?
I just need Philip J. Woodward to like make some art of you pointing at like a dinosaur, like in front of a kid.
Honestly,
like, that's got
there's this little, I'm gonna say little girl, but a little lady. Her name's Ellie. Like, she's about 4'2". She's great. She's like a big Pokemon fan. We always talk about Pokemon, and she has these big like rubber dinosaurs that the kids like to play with. I'm like, every time, like, they've got feathers now. They've got feathers.
I think you were saying your best friends, like something about best friends, and then
they're
that's
my best friends, and
my IRL friends.
I started the podcast, and my girlfriend makes all my overlays for me. So instead of I couldn't figure out how Kevin would move all the boxes around. Blow my mind when he did it the first time. I was like, how is he doing that? So she'd make the overlay to go around the boxes as they are now, like literally go out of her way to make the overlay. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I fed up. So I just DM'd him on Instagram, and he was like, oh yeah, you just like you use the video output like 3 times, and then just crop them. And I was just like, I'm such a fucking. It's like, but for him to give me 2 minutes of his entire life and to tell me that, it meant so much to me, and it's changed my life for the better. I mean, if people like stay in the frame, but it's besides the point. But no, to be on this podcast, to be with you guys right now, like, it means so much. Like to be a part of something that we're about to give the littlest of something back to someone that's gave us so much. And like, I'm just a small guy from Derby. I'm just a small fat man from Derby who wears an out-of-date PSLW shirt because our store's not that great, and who paid £130 to get the PSLW jacket sent over. So my missus' dismay of like, why are we paying for this like shipping charges? I like, I don't know. Like, they want more money from us. But to be around people like you guys who share the same interests. I wear this shirt like, most of the time. And I'm like, I just want to meet someone in the middle of the street. He's like, you like Kind of Funny? I'm like, I would happily take a picture of him, give him a cuddle. I was like, you tag Greg, and he's like, look, I found one. I found a Kind of Funny best friend in Derby. Like, he's like part of, like, just part of my life. It's my. It sounds really drastic, but it is. It's a part of my life every day. Like, I have to like listen to Kind of Funny podcast. I wait for 2:00 my time for the next episode, and I'm like, when it doesn't like update on my podcast feed, I'm like, what is going on? Now I got to use more of my data on YouTube. Like, it's not their fault; it's podcast fault. But I got a pen. I got a pen in a pen holder. Look at this pen in a pen holder.
I was there. Camille was there.
And we go to the obviously we're very lucky to get a London. For them to fly over from San Fran to go to London, just like, obviously they were doing the world tour, but it was such a big deal, and they've come to meet us, and we all having a drink, and they're doing their big spiel, and the one thing that got me, I didn't know we did the AKAs in unison. So obviously he's like, this is Tim Geddes, AKA, and everyone was like, AKA. AKA, yeah, yeah, it was fun. I was like, these are my people, and he was on about a pen. He was on about a pen to some other guy, and I was like, wait, hold on. Obviously he's got 1 million followers, so he's got a million people tweeting him at one time. I was like, Greg, do you mind if you just bring a pen for me? Just me, that one person out of all your followers, like, come to London just for me, and I was like freaking out. I was like, no, I asked for the pen, not him. He's like, don't worry, you can have a pen as well. I was like, yes, pens. So obviously that time goes by, and I go and visit everyone. Like, Nick was there and Tim was there, and I get 5 minutes of their time. And then I was waiting for Greg in this long line, and the next minute Greg just walks past. He goes, you're the man. I was like, yeah, I could be anyone you want to be. Like, whatever you want, I'll be right now for you. And he just gave me the pen, and obviously he ran off in. But like, it was great. And going back to like, and there was Jen was there, and Gia was there, and the funny story, right? So all these like pretty ladies are like, I think there was Gia, you guys know Gia, Jen, what's her name? The one that won the Up and Comers thing.
Oh,
Chloe
Was there. So I was like, Nat, can you take a picture of me and all these like 3 ladies? Like, no. I was like, oh no, wait, listen, you don't. They're the wives. Oh, okay, yeah. Just like, it was just so funny. But even they were great, and I was like, speak to Gia, and I was like, remember talk to Gia. I was like, I bet you broody, because there was a little baby there. I bet you broody, because broody. I don't know what broody means. It's like, oh, it's like baby blues. I was like, yeah. I was like trying to talk to getting pregnant with Tim. Sorry, Tim. And speaking to Jen for 5 minutes, I was like, Jen, like, I remember personally thanking Jen for looking after Greg. Like, how weird is that? Like, but I meant it. I genuinely meant it. I was like, thank you for looking after this man. Greg, right? If you are watching this podcast, you look phenomenal. Like, he looks great. I want to look that good with the swooping hair. I've got no hair to swoop, but I want some. I'm gonna stop talking. Again, thank you. Thank you, Kind of Funny, for like saving my life. And there was one point where I sat in a McDonald's. I had the worst shift ever, and I just listened, and little tears in my eyes of just, I've given up. Nothing's working. What's the point anymore? And they're just being themselves, and they're genuine people. And even when it comes to serious things, I learned things. I learned things about Black Lives Matter. I learned things, and they put it into a term that I could understand. As a white man, I couldn't understand it as best as I could. I tried, very much so. I tried, but Tim said one thing, and I was like, I understand now, and I respected it from all the way through, but I didn't quite understand. But when he put it in that one way, I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. And I was like, I was educated, and I learned about feathers and dinosaurs.
You know, you talking about Nick, just random quotes of Nick. I remember this one episode where Greg was playing through, I think, Persona 4 Golden, and it was trying to show, like, it was like teaching Nick how to play video games. And then he was like in Rize's dungeon, and he's like, yeah, look, it's a sex dungeon. Isn't that what you want? Bang for your buck? And Nick was just like, I guess. It's just one of the funniest moments ever. God bless him.
I don't know why I remember this, but it's like Candy Andy. But even like Andy coming from a quiet guy, like he was there, but you'd never really, I don't know, he was always outspoken by the other guys because they were so loud and proud. But now, like, Andy's such a massive character in my life. You know, Texas Street Latino, he clicking heads and ripping them to shred, the globe-trotting the headshot in Nitro Rifle or something like that.
Okay, Gage can't do it.
It's not that easy. It's not that
I
easy.
tried. I was like, you know, when you fucked up the other week, and I was like, I can do it. I know I can do it. But no, like, I say that out loud in a kitchen where people are walking through, and I'm like, I don't care what you think. Like, I'm having a great time right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of funny. Thank you.
Can we like take a moment to talk about the sort of live aspect of it? Because I think one of the most impactful things that's happened in my life is that first year where Kind of Funny came to London, and it wasn't even the first day of like RTX Live. It was like the day before where we're all in like I think it was Greenwich. Was it Greenwich? Shit, it was where the Millennium Stadium used to be. The O2. We're all at the O2 just hanging out. You know, I met Lucy for the first time there. I met Vitz for the first time there.
Is that the first?
And, yeah, that was the first one, I believe. And like, just being the atmosphere where we're all just chilling out, hanging out, getting some food, and then talking to each other, walking around the place. It was at that moment where I realized this is what it means to be a best friend. That I could go up to someone just completely random, go up to them, introduce myself, they'll introduce themselves, and we're just shooting our shit, talking, having fun. And at that moment, it wasn't about Greg, it wasn't about Tim, it wasn't about Nick, it wasn't about Andy. It was about the people around me. And getting to know these people, and then just knowing that I had all these people here were there for the same thing, and we all had something in common. And just knowing that I could have like a friend in anybody there was so comforting to know. I've made so many good friendships since then, but it blew my mind. And that entire weekend is possibly one of the like best weekends I've had in my life. Just like waking up for the first day of RTX, meeting Vitz, and Vitz is like getting rounds for me, Jericho, Lucy. You know, just tons of us, and then like walking around the place, Jen just coming up to us and like, oh, just hanging out, talking, having fun. Like, it's incredible the community that these guys have fostered, you know. And let's mention Joey Noel whilst we're at it. Like, she was huge for a long time for me as well, you know, being able to interact with her, like being a community manager and having so much stress of getting everything organized. Big shout out to her. But it's just incredible what these guys have built, and I'm so grateful, because like Al said, like 2020 could have gone drastically different for a lot of us if we didn't have this community and like these friends that we now have on Twitter, maybe not in real life, but in Twitter. So yeah, it's like, Al, you've also obviously been to a live event. Sims, you've been to a live event. Like, do you want to talk about them? Gage, you've met like people like Troy Baker, I guess, and some Kind of Funny best friends that way. Can you all talk about your like live experiences and what that was like for you?
Yeah, I can. Everything you just said. So the first meet and greet was kind of like I was on them night shifts at the time, and I'd been like and ahhing about going, like, as I know, London 40 minutes away. If you know, you know. I'm not admitted. I'm stupid if I'm not admitting it. And so I was like really tired. I got off a night shift, and I was been thinking about it. I was like, "No, should we go?" She's like, "I don't know, because you're gonna be tired." And I woke up and I was like, "We're going." She's like, "Oh, okay." So we just drove to London. Like, I was absolutely knackered. Got to Nando's. The weirdest thing when I've been to 2 meet and greets, and the first person I always see is Vitz.
Yeah.
Hi Vitz. It's like, "Hi mate, you alright?" And then the second time, again, right behind me, I was like, "What's going on here?" Like, out of all the people, you. Big shout out to Vitz. Like, we don't talk that much, but when we do talk, like we have some great chats.
What's incredible about Vitz is I remember hanging out with him, because how I know Vitz is like, I was like making these notes for the Kind of Funny forums and the Reddit, and Vitz would be the guy that would always comment on every post, you know. And then we decided to meet up at that Kind of Funny meet and greet. I remember sitting down with him, getting some food with him at Nando's, and he would get up, he'll see someone, and he just knows that person, he knows this person, he just knows everybody. It's actually insane. It's actually insane.
Huge shout out to Vitz. Vitz is the best.
And he introduced me to Rahul, and that's how I know Rahul now. Like, I'd never heard of Rahul, and Vitz is like, oh, that's Rahul. I'm like, who's Rahul? And now we're like best friends. It's insane.
The first one was kind of just like I think I've been rude. I wouldn't say rude. It was very like disarray. So obviously like we were upstairs, come downstairs, they come in, and then I think Andy went into this corner, and everyone just kind of flocked for Tim and Greg. So I was like, I want to go see Andy because like he's quieter. So I was like, Andy, hi man. I was like, number one's game journalist. Like, how you doing, man? He's like, I've travelled so far to come see it. I was like, oh no, about 200 miles. He's like, it's not far enough. I was like, oh, all right. Sorry. So you know, dead quick, because I needed to go home because this was like 8 o'clock at night. I'm on fumes at this point. So I quickly ran to Tim. I was like, hi Tim. You know, sorry. I think who was there? Oh, what was the name? He's got kind of funny tattoo.
You?
No, the other guy,
No.
the other lady.
Mario
Anyway,
Bros.
so I met her. She was great. She was great. How many is there of us? There's a few, isn't there?
Probably
I
a few
remember reaching
now.
out. Yeah. So anyway, and then all of a sudden, like Greg, it was dead funny. The first time I ever spoke to Greg, I was in the way, and he was going to this teacher, this boy, I think, this little boy, and he goes, "Get the fuck out of my way." I was like, "Oh no, I've upset Greg." Obviously joking, like he was joking. And as he come back, he's like, "Greg, I don't want to be that guy, but like I'm really tired. I've been up all night. I just like, can we just have a quick chat, quick photo, and I'll leave you alone." And he signed my Spider-Man thing, my Spider-Man disc game. I took a picture on my phone. He's like, your phone is trash. I was like, yeah, I know, yeah, it's terrible. It was like cloudy and horrible. And he's like, look, I'll take a picture on mine, tweet it. I was like, oh man, that's the thing ever. But that 3 minutes was great. But I never really got to communicate at that point. I felt after I'd left, I'd met a certain person, and then that was it really. I just kind of disappeared. And then a year later, I made it a mission to go and meet, just to go and talk to everybody. Like, because I'd met Greg and I'd met Tim, and yeah, I'll go on for 5 minutes with him again. But it was more about like talking to Mark Freeman, talking to the guy that I met random, like Chris, because Chris Davies. Big shout out to Chris Davies. Just me randomly just standing next to him, and then being a 30-minute drive between us. Like, how insane is that? Like, you're from the exact same place I'm. It's insane. And then obviously when I was trying to talk, when I was in the line, I met this guy. I don't know his name. He worked for Rockstar, and I was like, it was the weirdest thing. Probably to him right there, but he'd done something. He worked for Rockstar. He was working on the game, and I said thank you. He's like, why? I was like, you made Red Dead. He's like, right. I was like I played that game like when I was in the darkest place ever, like around the time I mentioned with the kitchen and managing. I was like, I played that game after work, like just to clear everything. Like the world was amazing. And I was like, you don't understand like how much you did for me. It's like, yeah, but it's not just me. I was like, yeah, but if I can thank you, then that's like one. But I've just got to thank the whole team. But we can get to that later. But thank you. Like we have like, and I met Rahul in a different situation. And like me and Rahul just had a chat, and we were having a great time. And the next minute, it was like, and that he was on about he purchased this Spyro box thing because he's got his thing for lanyards. He got to do his thing. You got to do your thing, ain't you? And he was like, my partner's a massive, and he was like, you can have this, and I was like, but he was the best friend, I was the best friend. And we just had the greatest like hour having a conversation and like, learning about what he did, and it was fascinating what he did. And then we just had this big cuddle, and everything was okay. Like, if anyone ever meets this guy after COVID, just go and give him a cuddle. Like, everything will just go away. It's great. Like,
there'll be a barrier between you and like 50 lanyards, but that's totally fine.
So good. In that situation, though, like going back to like the meet and greets, when I don't know, a person like me that has like very niche interests. I know video games and nerd culture is quite popular, but I mean, where I work and people I know, mother-in-law, my dad, and stuff like that. It's very like video games are for kids, but I've never felt so comfortable in my entire life. I felt normal compared to being, oh, you're that weirdo that plays video games. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just such a comforting, and everyone was on the same way, shouting. I met Alice, and this guy was like, "Where do you get these funny?" I think Alice hates me, and this guy was like, "Where do you get these pictures from? These pictures that Nerf Alice makes." So Nerf Alice makes these. I want them over there. So anyway, so he was like, "Oh, do you know?" I was like, "Oh, Alice makes them." She's like, "Right." So I was like, "I'll get Alice for you," and I just went, "Alice!" Just shouted. So I was like, "Greg shouts a lot, so I'm probably like in the same like situation." Alice. Anyway, Alice another Alice turns up. I was like, "Not you, but thanks." And then another Alice turns up. And she turns up out of the blue, and I was like, "Oh, Alice, this guy really wants me to like." Calm as out. Was like, "Oh, hi, Alice. This guy really likes some of your pictures. Okay, see you later." Anyway, yeah, I got some right looks. I got some looks that day. And then as I was leaving, I instead of like, "Bye, everybody," and then left.
I'll be right back.
Shout out to Alice, because I remember being, I think it was the second year, and like they were just giving out these like pictures, and like one of them was like Matt Ferguson, so I didn't actually like know on a personal level at that point, but like Matt Ferguson's like pictures and like other like Photoshop art that you see on KFAF, and you know they don't need to do that for us, but you know they went up to like all the best friends and said, "Have you got one? Do you want one?" So a shout out to her, and her art's beautiful, and if you can support her on Patreon, please do so. Nerf Alice. But like, you know, you were talking about, you know, your niche interests and stuff like that. Like, it's that thing of like, after that weekend, me going into work, nobody knows who these people from Kind of Funny are, but at that point it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I met Al, and he's out of a shot, but like speaking to him about South Park, I'm finding out he's a South Park fan. I don't know any other South Park fans, but knowing he's a huge South Park fan, that made like everything for me. Like, God bless the best friends. God bless the best friends.
100%. That's one of the weird things where I live. So I'm up here in Washington State, so Pacific Northwest of Central Washington. So it's kind of it's a city, but it's a very small city. There's never been a very big like nerd culture here. Like, we have a Best Buy and we have a GameStop, and like the Best Buy is decent size, but it's not one of the bigger stores, and our GameStop is literally just. It's not even in the mall. It's in one of these little building complexes in this back parking lot, and it's, I don't know, maybe 2.5 times as big as my bedroom. It's not big at all. So there's like no real nerd culture here aside from like the 4 people I grew up with that I played video games with. So it was always, there's only been 2 people that I've met aside from like my actual best friend that are actual Kind of Funny best friends. There was one guy at GameStop who we were just wearing our Kind of Funny shirts, and he's like, "Hey, Kind of Funny, big fan too." And it's like, "Oh shit, cool, that's awesome." And then just randomly one day, I used to work at Best Buy, and we had this guy from Amazon come in every couple weeks or every month or whatever. Basically, he's one of like the retail partners, so he would drive down from Amazon HQ, and hit up different Best Buy locations and update displays, clean stuff off, blah 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 blah. Just take care of the Amazon stuff. And you know, I'd met him and we'd become friends. So every time he'd come in, it was always super cool. And then it was like, after knowing him for a few months, we were talking about something, and he just, I don't remember if it was we were talking about podcasts or whatever. He just randomly, you know, say, "Hey, you ever heard of these guys Kind of Funny?" I'm like, wait, hold up, what? He's like, "Yeah, you know, like Greg Miller and all these." I'm like, "You're best friend, dude? Like, what the hell?" He's like, "Yeah, are you?" And it was just like this awesome, like, random thing I would have never expected to happen. It's just this one guy that I've known for months who all of a sudden it turns out he's a Kind of Funny best friend. So it's always awesome to kind of get those little things every once in a while from people you wouldn't expect when you're just out in public.
I was like this close to having that moment once.
Yeah,
like a Kind of Funny t-shirt on. It just says Kind of Funny. He goes, "Oh, Kind of Funny, man." I was like, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Oh, yeah, I think I'm kind of funny."
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
That is the God. That joke. My mom will say that joke to me every once in a while, where it's like we'll mention kind of funny, or her or my dad will be like, "Oh, so are they kind of funny?" I'm like, "Shut up, shut up."
Commentary that listens to this episode and comments like, "You're grounded."
Got my hopes
Yeah.
up. I genuinely just got all my hopes up. I was like, this is the moment.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
Believe it or not, my first experience for like in terms of a meetup was not even a KF meetup. I was in London, and there was a What's Good meetup, and I had to fight this inner like war in my head, and I was like, what if I don't talk to anyone? What if I don't know anyone? Like, I was so just nervous about it. And I remember I walked into the bar and then walked out and then walked back in, and then I remember seeing a certain someone immediately. Guess who it's gonna be? It was Vince.
Yep.
It was Vince. He was right there.
Is he just
But-
everywhere?
Yep. But the funny thing about that, it was amazing meeting the girls, but I found myself sort of just hanging out with the kind of funny guys, kind of funny best friends, because like you could tell some of the people were not KFBFs, and we're just into the like fans of What's Good. And I met and bonded with Jericho, with Vitz and Rahul, and it was just, that was the first experience I had. And then it couldn't have been better to be able to see those faces again for the KF London meetup. It was unbelievable.
Hey, Al, you know we nearly met that day at the What's Good thing.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware.
I can't believe
You
that.
decided not to go.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it was like Comic Con weekend, and then Vitz and those guys were going to What's Good Games. It was like, oh, but there's this like anime movie that's screening, and it's going to be a one-off. I was like, you know what, you guys have fun. I'm going to go watch this anime movie. And then when I hear like Al's met everybody, and I could remember that moment, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, Al.
that's all right. But then there was the KF London meetup, and that's where we met, and it was fantastic. And the thing that Greg always talks about with the best friends, you mentioned this, Kamel, but I fucking saw it. It's a thing of magic. It's unbelievable the way that we have this amazing community of people that we can just chill and have a chat with, and it's like you've known each other for years, and it's unbelievable the kind of the environment that Greg and everyone else at the Kind of Funny crew just sort of created. It's unbelievable.
I think we need to give a big shout out to the guys as well, because those meetups are insane, where they're just standing there for 4 or 5 hours and talking
Yep.
to everybody. And what blows my mind is the way that, they'll recognize best friends from their Twitter handles, from them being on the timeline, from them interacting in the shows. Like, how do you even have that sort of memory? It's actually ridiculous. So a big shout out to them for spending that amount of time just standing there and talking, because it must be exhausting when you think about it, just standing there constantly, and then you're getting greeted by X person, Y person. But they do it, and they're so genuine about it. They're so happy to see you. Like, you never feel like you're going to be a burden on them. And big shout out to them for that, honestly. Big shout out.
Absolutely.
So I've never been to a legitimate like meetup before, anything like that, even if community ran. But there's a Kamel kind of mentioned it earlier. There's one instance of meeting people that are complete, like I'm a complete stranger to these people. I know who they are, but they have no idea who I am. And that's Troy Baker and Barbara Dunkelman. Two people who are living proof that the Kind of Funny best friend thing is completely real. Like, it was Rose City Comic Con 2017, I think it was. So we're going down there. It's in Portland, Oregon. Huge convention center. There's thousands of people at this thing. And Largent and I, so my best friend Largent, who's a member of Simply Sassy, you've probably seen him on previous episodes. We're in our Kind of Funny shirts because it's like, hey, we might meet some best friends down here. It'd be kind of cool. So we're at the convention like all day. Nothing. Like, there's nobody recognizing the shirts, nobody stopping us to talk, nothing. When we go over and it's like, well, I really want to meet Troy Baker. I just want to go up and just say hi, shake his hand or whatever. And he's not at his booth yet. So it's like, okay, we'll do a round, go around the convention center once, check out some of the sites, and we'll come back, see if he's there. So we go around, and this place is huge, bigger than we expected. So this one go around, it's like, oh, it'll be 5-10 minutes. It was like 35 minutes. We go around, we come back into the show floor from the other end, and he doesn't have a line, and it looks like he's getting ready to leave. Like, oh shit, he's about to leave. We're gonna miss him. So we start kind of like power walking across the floor, and I don't even remember what I said, but I made some remark like halfway there where it's like, Jesus, even from this distance, he's the best looking person here. And so we're power walking over there. We barely hit like the start of where the line should be, and he looks up, sees our shirts, and instantly he's just like, hey, I love your shirts. And we go up and we just like, oh, holy crap, thank you. Like that was the icebreaker right there. We're just into a conversation now. And he was just super, super nice. Like asked us, how we were doing, we'd seen anything cool, how we were enjoying the convention. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to see your show tonight. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait. And he's like, awesome. So shake his hand and we leave. And so his band was gonna play a show that night at this dive bar venue in like the middle of downtown Portland or wherever the hell it was. Just you go to this place and it's like, I'm sure people have been stabbed here, but whatever. So we hadn't gotten there yet. We're at dinner, and like I tweeted something. This is just a photo of me enlarged, and I'm like, oh, Rose City is pretty fun. Kind of bummed out that nobody, commented on our shirts except for Troy Baker. He's really cool or whatever. And Kind of Funny's account responded. So I don't know if it was Andy at the time or Joey or whoever. It was like, oh hey, you should go say hi to Barbara Dunkelman. Okay, whatever. Sucks I'm not there anymore. And then she responds to that. She's like, yeah, come over, say hi. We can chat. I'm like, fuck, shit, I'm not there anymore. This sucks. Maybe next year, whatever. And so I'm realized like I'm not following her on Twitter. What the fuck? Like I love Barbara Dunkelman. She's fantastic. Why aren't I following her yet? So I follow her. And it's like her first tweet is talking about how she's excited to go to Troy's show that night. I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, hey, I'm gonna be at the show tonight. Maybe we can meet, say hi. So that's all I want to do. I just want to meet, say hello, introduce myself, say I'm a big fan, whatever, go back to my business. Like a totally normal, not creepy person. So anyway, we're there at the show. We're off like back in the corner. So it's like you walk into this venue, there's the bar, and you have to go through this tiny little doorway to get to this back area where there's like a booth and everything. So it's me, it's Largent. My parents are there because they like going to conventions. My cousin and her husband are there. It's like big thing. We're just sitting there chilling, and all of a sudden, Barbara comes around the corner, sees me, and instantly is just like, hey, what's up? Just super excited. So I get up and I go meet her. And same thing happens with Troy later. I go in for a handshake, they go in for a hug. And it's like, oh shit, this is awesome, so cool. So she comes over and she hangs out with us. We go and we watch the show, and it's incredible. He is, if you haven't listened to Troy Baker's music, so he has his own album. He worked on it with a band, but it's just under Troy Baker. It's called Sitting in the Fire. Fantastic. And then his second band, I guess you could say, where they actually got together and wrote another thing. I don't know all the details there. It's called, the band is Window to the Abbey, and the album was Moving Around Bias. So it was the first time they'd ever played any of that stuff live at a show. They did like the whole album. And it was spectacular. He is a ridiculously talented person. After the show, he comes down, he sees Barbara, they start chatting, and she goes to introduce me. She's like, hey, Troy, this is my friend. He sees me and instantly recognizes me and comes in for the hug, and is just the most gracious human being I've ever met in my entire life. Like, they are the epitome of what the best friend moniker is. I also want to give a special shout out. I don't remember his actual name, but I know he goes by Kinky Flamingo on things like PlayStation, Twitch, stuff like that. He was the only other best friend I met in this whole time. he didn't even go to the convention. He was there just for Troy's show. So it was like, oh, he saw my shirt and we started talking. It's like, fuck yeah, dude, I just met another best friend. This is cool. So I just want to give a shout out to that moment and to those 3 individuals for being like the first real big, best friend experience I had since discovering Kind of Funny. It was awesome.
I also want to say, in terms of like Troy Baker, how unbelievably cool it was for me to realize that Cisco is a best friend, and fucking Cameron Cuff, and just it's Rahul Kohli, like
Mike Bithell,
being able to share that sort of community with people we're fans of is also just something amazing.
Yeah. I guess real quick, I just want to piggyback off of what I said. The reason I was going into that story is Troy Baker is the reason I got into Kind of Funny. It was his first Game Over Greggy show appearance that I had watched, like the Troy Baker Does Impressions breakout back in like, I don't know, 2016 or 2014. Whenever that came out, it was before they started, Kind of Funny proper, I think. And I'd only seen that breakout, and then that was it. I didn't care about the Kind of Funny guys. It's like, oh, it's IGN guys or whatever. I don't really care. So I watched it, and then like a year passed, and that was the first video. It's like, I should go watch that whole thing. Watch that because of Troy Baker, and that's when I fell in love with Greg and Tim and Colin and Nick. And then eventually Kevin, once we saw his face.
So is that why you're so good at impressions?
I'm not. I'm really bad.
You're pretty spot on with some of them.
It's not that hard for some of them. I don't want your life. You just got to have a really bad...
It's pretty spot on, dude.
Yeah, it's bad.
And your walking's not half bad either, to be fair.
It's not good.
I thought I was going to goad him into doing it. Never mind.
Do it. Do it.
I don't know what to say, though.
I'll do my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, and you do
that. Okay.
It's free
Let's hear
entertainment for us.
Walken trying to hit on Scarpino.
Nick, I don't know why people make fun of your height. You know what I say? I think you're fun-sized. Funny your age. Your age is just a number. You know what else is a number? 69. That's my drift. There, here's my walk-in.
That was brilliant. That was awesome, Gage.
No pressure, Sims.
No, I know. I've never done this before. Oh no. Fever. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Oh man, I'm under pressure.
Dude, it sucks, doesn't it? Fuck.
Because if it's bad, isn't it? Like, what do I normally say? Get down! No!
Damn!
Wow. Do the chopper!
That's awesome.
No! He's not a tumor.
That's really good.
Not a tumor.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Why? No.
I like how
Al,
the rest of this episode is going to just use that voice now.
Al, please do a Predator sound, and then Sims, I need you to say, "You are one ugly motherfucker."
You are one ugly motherfucker.
I like how this has just become like a table read for the OU pod now.
Oh my god,
Get down now.
I love it.
Going back to the live event thing, I just want to implore people.
Getting back on track.
I just want to implore people, like, if they do feel hesitant to turn up, or they do feel worried about, things, like, please just take that one step, because you're not going to regret it. And look, so many people, like, best friends on the timeline. If you don't, just type in hashtag KFBF, and you'll find people. Message someone else who's going to go, and, like, see if they'll go with you, and, like, go with them, and believe me, your life will change once you get to one of those events. So if Kind of Funny do another live event, if you can go to it, try go to it, and if you can find someone to go with, even better. But don't feel hesitant to go there, because I'll tell you this right now, there's at least half the people there thinking the same thing as you, like they're worried to go because they don't know anybody, and them going, it starts that thing where they've unlocked a new network of friends. It's honestly amazing. So please, if you get the opportunity to go to a live event, go to a live event and don't worry about a thing, because people will look after you there, honestly. So yeah, just wanted to make sure people know that, because yeah,
Absolutely agree with that.
That's a good sentiment. I like that, Camille.
Gage, save me.
I just wanted to let it kind of sit there for a second,
Yeah.
get that awkward silence in.
Oh, look, when I met Greg, he signed this Persona 4 Golden thing.
Nice.
Greg is actually the reason why I started playing Persona 4 Golden and got a Vita. And this game in itself is one of the most important games of my life, because, you know, talking about best friends, you know, these guys felt like my best friends. So
I want to play
everyone-
that game so bad, but it's just like I
It's on
have
Steam, dude.
trouble playing Vita games. I keep buying
Yeah.
games on my Vita, either PS1
Yeah.
or PSP classics or actual Vita games, and then I'll play them for 2 or 3 hours, and it's like I'm gonna go play a console game now. It's just, dude, like, it's just the controls, man. Trying to hold that tiny little thing and press those shitty buttons. I'm like, fuck, I love this thing, but
You
goddamn.
son of a bitch, Gage.
I miss the OG Vita,
We're
because it was a
about to-
bit. The OG Vita was a bit fatter and it had a bit more heft.
Yeah.
It was a bit, but I've never liked the buttons on them. Like I always felt like the buttons, especially like the face buttons with triangle, circle, X, square, they always just felt kind of a little cheap. But then it was the R1 or the R and L. God, those things are so inconsistent. Where it's like you have to hold it down, and sometimes if you don't hold it at the right point, it's like, well, you got to press a bit harder here, and it's like, why can't it just click in like a normal button? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my Vita, but it's like every time I play it, I'm just like, I just wish I could play this game on my, with a dual sense or whatever. And they tried that with PlayStation TV. What a piece of shit that was.
I wish I had one of those, though.
Dude, it
Especially
was,
now that things are
Now
just
it's starting to sound more like
atrocious.
Sasscast. Just that right there.
Well, yeah, there's always, like, if you look at the Sasscast, there's always at least one point during the video where Gage will, like, reach out to his desk next to him, bring out the Vita, just point it at the screen.
Yeah.
For some reason, play Abe's Odyssey for, like, 2 seconds, put it back down again.
Sims, even if you bring up the Switch, for example, he will do that same thing and pull up the Vita and just show it to you.
Like, Switch what? How about the Vita? It's way better. And then I'll just make up some bullshit excuse, yeah.
But
We,
even, like, games-wise, the guys have been so influential on me getting to try different things. And, like,
100%.
Danganronpa, I would have never touched that game in a million years. And like, hearing about it on the show, and I like, picked it up, and it became one of my favorite games. And funnily enough, like McKenna, like I obviously interacted with her for Animal Crossing, but then like seeing on the timeline doing a cross stitch of like Monokuma, I'm like, oh, you're a Danganronpa fan? Like the fact that Kind of Funny got me into Danganronpa meant that I became friends with McKenna. And it's just crazy how that works. Like Kind of Funny, God bless you guys. Honestly, God bless you guys.
I feel like I don't want to sound like I'm promoting myself, but I feel like I've done the podcast like a disservice. Like the podcast wouldn't exist if it wasn't for like.
And talk about it, dude. Please.
Daniel never rolled it. Like I was just skimming Reddit, and he was like, "Who wants to start a podcast?" And I was like, "I want to start a podcast." I bought all this to do a podcast. Like I tried the streaming, didn't like it. I'm a dad, got 2 kids. I'm a grumpy old man, and by 8 o'clock, nobody wants to talk to me after 8 o'clock at night. And like, yeah, I just want to play games in my pants. Like, is that too much to ask for? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Holy socks on, Anyway, but he was like doing a podcast in the KF, the Reddit, and we are what 61 episodes in. Do you know what I mean? I like all from that, like, and we're not trying to be anyone. We're just trying to be ourselves. Like we've had a few guests from the Kind of Funny community, but like, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that. It wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? And like the troubleshooting with Kevin, like that wouldn't have happened. Like I probably would have figured it out one day, slammed my head against the keyboard and got a bright idea. but it worked. Everything. I want to say everything, but like it just gets me through. Like you just like everything just connects with like Kind of Funny. Just like I feel normal when I listen to it. Do you know what I mean? I'm weird. Do you know what I mean? And going to these kind of few meet and greets or listen to these people talk about, Batman v Superman or been Grover or just stupid stuff, and I just like, this is normal. But if anybody else was to listen to it that didn't understand it, drugs, mate. Like, what are you listening to? And I'm just
Mm.
like, I love it. And then
It's
like, it
comfort
makes
food at that point, isn't it?
honestly, yeah, like
Yeah.
just something to give me a hug.
Yeah.
Can I piggyback off that? I think no one said it better than my IRL friends who knew me as like just in real life, and then started telling me that, hey, you're talking about these people like they're your actual friends, and they kept referring to them as your internet friends to me, and I was okay with that. I was like, yes, that's what it is. And to an outsider, as weird as that sounds, like until you're part of this community, you're not gonna understand how truly, truly amazing and just the whole best friend mantra, the whole thing is just. I'm just very grateful and thankful for that.
Because people have called it a marketing term. They thought it was a marketing term.
Yeah.
It's very easy to be skeptical about it until you've actually experienced it for yourself. And that's when you're
100%.
like,
Everybody has
cool.
names for like their community and stuff, and not to diminish anybody else's communities, they're all great, but like the best friends, that's exactly what it is. Like, we don't need any cool code name or whatever. We don't need to be called like
The scumbags.
the
Do you remember that?
scumbags or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're
I don't know.
Oops.
The allies sound like a good idea.
I do like
the
that one
allies
too.
sound cool.
Like, that one's
I
great.
want to be an ally.
It's too connected to the UN, so that's
Yeah.
that's
But yeah, it's like just best friends. Like, that's just what it is. Like, we don't have to associate it with anything else. One thing I do want to say that I'm very thankful for, what's kind of funny, is like just random small things that the way I do certain things, or the way I felt about certain things and I always felt insecure about, and then just hearing them casually talk about it on a show. Like, something as basic as like the one time they discussed like how they wipe. And I'm like, huh, so they're all a bit different. Interesting, cool. Like, I don't have to think about that. Like, am I wiping different than other people? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it gets the job done. It's just small things like that you kind of feel these little insecurities about when you hear other people or whatever. And it's like, oh, we're just, fuck it. Who cares? Like, everybody's different. And these are the people that are actually willing to talk about these things. They're not gonna like, oh no, we don't talk about money or sex or politics or anything else. Like, you shouldn't talk about this. No, they just talk about it, and they really kind of help open your eyes to the fact that everybody's different and you're not alone in this or that. And who cares how you feel about this thing or how you do this thing? It's just they're like one of the only groups out there that is actually open about that, and at least in my opinion, has helped me out with coming to terms with just basic insecurities and stuff like that.
Apart from playing inverted, that shit's fucked up.
Yeah, fuck
We all
Nick,
know
dude.
it. Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
Clip that hat.
Oh god. What have I done? Sim, sorry, I just wanted you just to plug your world tour that you're doing at the moment as well, and maybe some
Oh
best
no, you
friends
don't call it
can
the
hit you
world
up
tour, you'll
about it.
jinx it. People have cancelled. Alright, we've not called it.
Hey, that's what you called it when I was there. Like,
Gotta go with it now.
it's such a good name. It's such a good name. But you did the Nerdic Gods podcast, and you've had like a few guests on, like Caesar Towers, like recent Corey Cudney. I think you said Denana Biology was biologist. Biologist was on as well today. So, like, do you want to plug that out? And if people want to come on the show, where can they find you?
They can find us at the Nerdic Gods on Twitter. Nerdic Gods, www.youtube.com/Nerdic Gods on YouTube. We got the URL. 100 subs. Big
GGs.
deal. Absolutely
Yeah.
massive
Nice.
deal.
Yeah.
Again, that was helped by the kind of fun BFs in the Zoom chat. I just accidentally dropped it. Didn't want to be that guy. I was like, I Nerdic Gods. Woo. They were like, no, seriously, though. Drop it in, we'll follow you. I was like, yes, get in. It follows at that. We're just a weekly video games podcast. It's more of us just like getting together and talking about something that we possibly couldn't talk about in a normal situation. Like, there's a colleague, right? Tangent again. Colleague at my place here, right? Nice bloke. There's only 2 blokes at this nursery. Can you believe it or not? So I turned around to him and I was like, he's like, oh, I got a PlayStation. I was like, right, this guy plays games. We're on a level. We can be friends. Right, and then I really like Days Gone. I'm a massive Days Gone fan. People like reject me for that.
Days Gone is incredible.
Yeah, thank God, Gage.
Incredible.
Gage, right. Where do you live? Washington. Right, I'll be there in a bit. We'll get married. We'll away together because these guys don't get anything.
I've got the actual like the massive display thing that they have at Best Buy I've got one for that Days Gone and one for Spider-Man. So it's like the big, like 4 foot tall, 2 foot wide Days Gone like promo display in the other room. It's so great.
Piggybacking off that, a 13-year-old Steve, right, back in the day when he lived with his mum, and mummy would look after Steve, yeah, went to a game, so GameStop, right, and they had SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain cardboard cutout, big 5'6" Brock Lesnar. The best thing I ever owned. Just sat in my room. Just big muscly guy just looking at me. I never felt so protected. And obviously, right, like because we wouldn't sleep at my house, we'd have to go sleep at my grandma's house. My mum was looking after my grandma. Right, you're laughing, but I felt protected. So what we did was, because the house was empty overnight, we'd put the cardboard cutout in the window, so people would walk past and be like, "Well, we're not going to rob that house. Brock Lesnar's there."
Isn't that what Kevin McAllister does?
Yeah. Is he the one that was in ET?
No, that's
no.
That's a reference. That's a reference.
That's a reference right there.
That's a reference. When they kicked him out as well, it was so funny. It was like. Anyway, going back to Nerdic Gods. What were we talking about?
No, I was just saying.
Days Gone. So yeah, I was talking to this guy. Sorry. So I was talking to this guy, right? Days Gone, right? And he goes, "Oh, I've been playing that Daisy Gone." I was like, "We can't be friends anymore." I didn't even say that to his face. I was like, "This conversation is done. You've just pronounced the game wrong. We're done. Me and you are finished." So I was like, "That's it. The end of our conversation about eternity. We are never going to speak about it again. Like, me and you are finished." Turns out, right, I've got this Gears of War tattoo, right? Can't miss it. Apparently, from my father-in-law, it looks like a ketchup splodge. Okay, fair enough. Bad tattoo, right? So he turns around to me and goes, instead of starting the conversation with like, "Oh, I like your Gears of War tattoo," he goes, "Oh, look, I've got an N7 tattoo." I was like, "Why didn't you start the conversation with that a couple?" Like, why have we not spoken about your N7 tattoo? I'm here rocking tattoos and talking about video games to you on a constant basis, and yet you don't want to. I was like, what is going on? Like, anyway, right? If you've got a gaming tattoo, show me, all right? Inappropriate places. The Nerdic Gods Podcast. Again, we're just a bunch of guys that get together on a Thursday. Like when we're really like we've all got this, like we're all busy and we're all in different time zones. And we would like to. The premise is we met on Reddit and we literally worked out 2 hours on a Thursday, 6 o'clock my time. I don't know what time. The one's at Eastern time, one's in Manchester. I don't understand. Why is there so many time zones? Wasn't there who said there was a podcast? Was it kind of funny when they were like, why don't they just meet in the middle, like just have the clocks half an hour backwards, so it's not.
Yeah, I think it was Andy. He was like, just make it half an hour and that's it. We'll keep it like that. No
just
more
like
moving
meet in the
about.
middle of it. Like, stop stressing me out. I was like, I spoke to Gage a couple of months ago, then like a couple of weeks ago, then the clocks changed. I was like, is it still 8 o'clock? It's like, yeah. I was like, I don't think it is, because he was like, it's all changed. I don't understand it.
We just recently discovered what a calendar is. Would you believe?
Oh my god,
it's a revolution for us.
The first time we ever had this situation. It's like, well, I was just coming back from Leicester. I was driving working in Leicester, the actual Leicester, not Leicester.
Yeah, not London.
Anyway, so it's like 4 o'clock. I'm like, it's fine. I got 2 hours to this podcast. He texts me, he goes, "I'm ready." I'm like, how are you fucking ready? You're not ready. He goes, no. It's the normal time to record. And I was like, no, you're on fucking drugs, right? Because it isn't the right time. Whole hour of us arguing. He didn't realise that the clocks had changed this time. And then a week later, ours changed back later. But then this time around, I had to wait 2 weeks. Why? What? Who? Why? Anyway, Nerdic Gods Podcast, all right? So the premise is there's 3 best friends. We all listen to Kind of Funny, and let's do a podcast. And we literally that awkward conversation. Like again, like you can approach anyone. Add me on Discord, and it's I had Navaroli and I had classic chimp Connor, MF Knowles, 3-time winner. I got told off earlier.
Consecutively, is it?
Yes,
I think,
yes.
Yeah.
Because Greg robbed us from the end of the last one. Anyway, so I get so excited I forget what I'm going to say. What was I saying?
You were talking about you adding Daniel.
Yes. Sorry. So I added Daniel. And you ever like joined a Discord chat with someone you don't know? I mean, obviously I'm I just jumped in. I was like, "Hi, I'm Steve." Fuck. I don't know. So then I was like, it's like, "Hello," and he's like, "Hello," and you're like, "Hello, hello, hello. Hi, you want to do this podcast then? Yeah. So, okay, how are we going to right, okay. And we just went from there. And like, we're like 61 episodes in. Like, I finally figured out how to crop people and move them around. Right. My partner down the stairs, like, I know I talk about this, but there's really 4 of us. Like, Natalie does everything for this podcast, the overlays, the intro, like everything that you can think of. Like, she just does. I just come and produce it with this really bad microphone that doesn't want to work. We're just 61 weeks, and obviously it is down to the best friends, and obviously it is down kind of funny, but it's something that keeps me sane. Like, I'm talking about video games, like it makes me feel normal, compared to the guy that says DayZ gone, N7 tattoo that doesn't want to tell me.
Hey, you got to drag him into the community, dude. Get him in here. He'll learn.
I turned around to him, I was like, why didn't you tell me about this tattoo? It's like a week ago, I was moaning about you because you said DayZ wrong. And he left it off like, and I was like, no, seriously, you upset me. But yeah, please, if you can, just check it out, Nerdic Gods. Just all we ask for is a subscribe. Please, we're on podcast services. Like, please, just leave us a review, give us a listen. Like, you don't have to listen to it, but like, just support us. Like, we think we know what we're talking about, but I think nanobiologist left earlier.
Sorry,
we were so. I was like, fucking spiders. I said fucking spiders for the record. It's an English term.
Yeah.
And he left, and I'm always worried about like when Corey came in. Like, honestly, when Corey came in and nanobiology, Wayne's, we're not worried. We're not worried. It's like, I'm just a normal person. I'm like, no, you're part of my life every day. The nanobiologist. So yeah, we do a podcast. We do a podcast.
And I will say for your show, if this entices people, that you do a really fun segment towards the end where you play a game. Like with me, you play that game of ranking the Pokemon starters, and that was really fun. Yeah,
we try and go out of our way for each guest, but you got lucky. You got your ranking. I think we put it on questions for a few, and then nanobiologist, because obviously we tried to test him. We had like a 10 questions game. You'd have to watch the episode, like. And he won. Yeah.
Nice. I want to give Daniel a shout out because Daniel seems to play games that I've never heard of, but he speaks it in such a way I'm like, I want to go play that. And Connor, I haven't interacted with too much, but like, well, what can we say apart from he takes really good screenshots? So yeah, you got a good cast on there.
Connor kind of works this weird schedule we were talking about earlier. So he works 2 till like 10 or 2 till midnight. So he literally sleeps, goes to work, and then plays games all night. But I think he sleeps, goes to work, and then just takes pictures all night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, how's that game going? I don't know. I talk about 20,000 screenshots. How is that even possible? But no, yeah, I honestly, they're 2 wonderful human beings. 2 wonderful human beings. And Daniel, it gives us like, especially Daniel, like, gives us that. This podcast gives us like a reason to try out different games. Like, this year's just been difficult for me. You've ever just gone through that phase and you just can't get into anything. Like, I've mentioned that I don't like Watch Dogs Legions for the accent. Because if you want to hear my opinions on that,
you mentioned it on my episode, and I remember watching the Rahul episode as Rahul's like imitating the accents as well. Like an old lady, for example, Al drives with. The old lady's like, "Oh, what are you doing, blood?" It's like, "You're 82. Why are you talking like that?"
Honest to God, it stresses me out. And I'm English for that. I was like, no, you're a little lady. Like, what, why? Anyway.
So let's bring it full circle. I wanted you to talk about your podcast because like kind of funny. Like, they've been going for 6 years now. And I don't know if they know how much of an impact they've had of us as individuals and like creatively in the industry as well. The fact that people are picking up podcasts, talking about games, spreading the love around the place, and like going back to PS I Love You, you talked about like picking up the podcast for the first time. Do you remember like the community would just go band around with each other and be like, oh, why don't we start a hashtag PS I Love This Best Friend and go show love to different people and random people? Like, the guys never asked people to go and do that, but the community have just got that love in them that they want to go out and make people's day. And if someone's having a bad time, like some game journalists having a bad time, all the best friends are going to flock to them, even though they've never been on kind of funny podcast content, just to show them some love and know that, oh look, you're one of us, even though you've not been on one of the podcasts. I mean, what an incredible community we've got, and I hope the guys realize that they've contributed to so much good in the world. And I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but honestly, I feel like they've changed the world in some ways with this
No, they
community.
really have. I agree with you. I agree 100%, Kamel.
Mm.
I don't think that's an exaggeration in any way.
I will want to say one more thing. It just popped into my head.
Please.
In all seriousness, though, as somebody, I ran the podcast. We've done the podcast for a year, and then I spoke about it before we started, and we were talking about having guests, and I was so nervous. I try and be a presence, like try and get my. I tried. I was the one that was confident enough to reach out, so I reached out to like 25 people, and I just thought nothing of it. I thought no one's gonna want it, and everybody, like pretty much everyone, to a point where like I couldn't get everybody on. And if you're me, or you have a podcast, or you want to start one, reach out to someone. Just reach out to anybody. Put it in the Reddit. Just if you got a creative, you want to do something creative, just do it. Just reach out to Kind of Funny Best Friends, because there's always someone. If you want to come on my podcast, or if you want me on your podcast, I will happily do that. Like just to talk about video games, the news, whatever you want me to talk about. If you want, you know what I mean, like I'm there for anyone who wants to talk. Like your family. I know it's best friends, but like I feel so comfortable right now. From the moment I clicked into this, I've never met Gage in my life, and I've only heard Al Trisman do the. I can't do it. Just go. I mean, I've only ever like. And then me and Camille, like, we hit it off straight away. Like, my missus loves him. She's like, "Ain't he lovely?" I was like, "Yeah, he is. He's great."
Hey, Pokemon fans are a different breed.
But I've never felt more comfortable. But if it was another place, I probably wouldn't. But I was like jumping, laughing, and joking. Like, said to Gage, "You look stressed, like I do." Like straight away. Like, I never spoke to him before. This isn't fake. Like, and I think this is a prime example. I'm new to this group of people right now, and I felt comfortable so straight away. And it may not be different for anyone else. But if my girlfriend could come with me, who does suffer with really bad anxiety, but like, yeah, she was with me and she felt comfortable, but she still felt comfortable, and you lot made her feel like Rahul, like treated her like a princess, and she loves him for that. And if anyone can make an impression on, especially make my girlfriend feel comfortable in a group of 1,000 people, then you're all family. And I've never felt more comfortable than when I'm screaming in a crowd, "Alice!" She probably hates me, but like the other Alice, I'm really sorry if you're listening to this. I'm so sorry it wasn't you, but like, thank you. You're like with family. It's just I felt the whole concept of it, and me accidentally clicking on, accidentally finding this podcast, and yeah, I do feel like it's my fault that Colin left somehow. Like maybe if I never clicked it, that would have never happened. And it doesn't work like that, I know. But like on that moment of finding out what happened, I was like, it felt like my fault. It felt like I'd done that, and it sounds weird. It goes with the FCF thing. You will take the piss. Oh yeah, you felt. I genuinely, when I turned off the final, and then I woke up thinking, oh, how bad was it? And we won. I was like, well, this is all my fault. Like.
You should talk to Phil J. Woodward about FCF.
Oh yes.
But if Kind of Funny, the guys who work for Kind of Funny, the guys who are Kind of Funny best friends, like I love you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Like you make me feel comfortable. Like if I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm in a group of these people, or I'm in a podcast, like I feel normal, and that sounds weird, but like I feel normal right now. And then when I go to work and I'm telling everybody about these feathers on these dinosaurs, I don't feel as normal. They think I'm weird, but that's okay. But yeah, I thank you, everybody, whoever's listened to this. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
It's something that I feel it comes straight from the top, which is pretty great. Obviously, we always start recording the show at a set time. We'll have people come into the call. As we're gonna get set up, we'll chat for a bit or whatever. So there's always like a 5 to 10 minute span before we ever start recording the shows where we were able to just chat with Tim or with Nick. Stuff that's just not on camera, it's not recorded, nobody will ever see it. But just how kind they are. It's not for show. You know, they're not jumping on camera and you hit record and they're like, "Hey, best friends." It's like from the moment they jump in to the moment they leave, they are the sweetest people in the world. Just going out of their way where half the time I want to tell them to shut up because they're thanking us for doing this. Like they're thanking us for supporting them on Patreon or whatever, and it's like stop. Like I want to be thanking you. You guys are you gave us this. Like I wouldn't have met anybody in this community if it weren't for this community. The fact that what was it, freaking almost a year ago, exactly at this point, I first met Camille and Ben playing Warzone. They just needed 2 more people, and Largent was like, "Hey, you want to play Warzone with them?" Like, yeah, sure. And that just every day, it's like, hey, they're adding. I was already kind of. It's weird to say because like you guys are my friends now, but it's like, oh my god, I'm playing Warzone with Ben. Ben, please be excited. It's like he's like one of the prime names in the community, with Milk Mommy and Old Man Nick and Words and all these things. It was insane, and with Camille as well, who did stuff, I guess.
Fuck you! Oh, Chess. No, I'm just...
like it was awesome, and then like I don't remember who all started the group at first, but it was like me, Largent, Ben, Camille, and it's like seeing, like, hey, it's Josh, JC Lego Man. It's like, oh shit, I know who he is. Like, oh, I know who Carl is. I know who Phil. It's like, holy shit, it's Philip J. Woodward. Oh god, Matt Ferguson is in the group now, and like being more and more like essentially feeling kind of starstruck, which is weird to think because I'm not, like, we went over it in Camille and Robin's show. What's it called again? I don't care. And we've got mail. The episode I was on, that was one of the questions asked to me, and like I'm very insecure about stuff. Like I don't like social interaction. I don't like talking to people. I'm very introverted. So the fact that I do this show or talk to anybody is a miracle. That I even want to talk to people half the time. But it's like I never interacted with anybody, so I didn't have that mentality of like, oh, these are community members, these are peers, people I know. It was just names I'd seen on the shows that were like on a pedestal for me. So seeing names like Robin GL jump into the group, and Al Tribesman, who I had heard week after week after week as a Patreon supporter, who I'd seen the stream of him playing Predator Hunting Grounds, and like, oh shit, this fucking Al Tribesman's in the group. And it's like within seconds, it's just like instantly we're all just chatting, getting to know each other. Like it's crazy to think that people I would have never met in my entire life. Like there's no physical way I would have ever met any of these people if it weren't for this ridiculous community. So yeah, kind of funny. Thank you guys. You're fucking heroes to me. So thank you.
Amen.
Anybody else have anything they wanna say? We're getting close to an hour and a half. So
I've got some choice words for you, Gage, but I'll wait till the cameras are off. No, I'm just playing. I'm never gonna forget that summer as long as I live. That summer was just incredible. Staying up to like 5-6 o'clock and like just shooting shit in Warzone with you guys, and like
all of us trying to play Predator Hunting Grounds at 15 frames per second.
Yeah, pretty much.
God, that was fun. It's a good time.
But yeah, no, I mean, 2020, 2021, kind of funny. You've done a lot for us, even though you don't know it, or sometimes don't think about it, but you've done a lot for us. That's all I can say at that.
Absolutely.
And it's not just us four who are gonna be saying thank you to Kind of Funny and talking about our experiences, is it, Gage?
Nope. So once we wrap this show, there's gonna be, I don't know how many. I've already gotten a few videos right now. There's so many more people who were working on them or wanting to work on them. There's just gonna be a string of thank you videos for people that we've gotten to, we reached out to, that we've met from the community who just wanted to say thank you to Kind of Funny, who wanted to tell them what the community means to them, and all that fun stuff. So you're gonna hear a lot of good stuff from people like Mario Rivera, Mario Not Bros. Um, Geez, I don't even remember who else I've gotten on here. Uh, Erica, aka Ambelina on Twitter. I've got stuff from Mark Freeman coming in, so that'll be on. Like, there's so many amazing people that are gonna, have some nice things to say. So definitely stick around and check all that stuff out. I guess before we wrap, is there anything else anybody wants to say? I'll start with you, Sims, since you're the special guest. Anything else you wanted to say?
Thank you for having me. Like, I was dead nervous. I was like, you like this cool cat in this like podcast. He looks the cool guy, so I'm gonna speak to him on Twitter. I was like, hey, I don't want to intrude, but I need to, like, can I come on the show? And you were like, no. And then I kept pestering you, and then you were like, yeah, whatever.
I think the quote was "fuck no, go away." I think that was what I said.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But no, yeah, thank you very much. Like, this is such a special thing you've got going on. Especially I've watched a couple of the episodes with everybody in, and coming off the Greg one, like, it cemented what it meant, and then it added the pressure as well to me. But I was like, I love this guy, but Gage obviously loves him more. What to do? Like, but no, yeah, thank you for like for this. Like, this is when you gave the. I was like, what kind of thing are we doing? This was it, and I was like, this is like perfect. Like, and like, when someone just writes, oh, that's perfect, and you just think implied. No, I was like genuinely excited, like to the point I booked tomorrow off work so I could do this.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, dude. That means a lot to us because you talk about, coming in here and be like, oh my god, tribes and Gage and everything like that. But you being here, telling your stories and making us laugh, it means so much to us, honestly.
100%.
And it's been so good meeting you, dude. So no, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes, man.
And the fact it's insane to me that you would take a day off just to be on a dumb show. Like,
honestly, everyone's like, oh, it's like, why you got, like, all the girls are like, why you got Monday off for? I was like, why we got to come to the kitchen? I was like, oh. It's like, oh. I was like, yeah, exactly. But look, when I clicked the button, I saw our Charles, man. I was like, how Charles did I do, man? He's like, I was like, just a name. It's like, you become a part of my life. Like, you maybe not every month. He's like, our Charles, man. I'm still going. And I know it sounds stupid. I'm in the car and or it's time for some news, and I'm like, I make it. It's just stupid stuff like that. Like, and then like, all I can say is thank you to you guys, and you're doing this is incredible. You do incredible work, and this podcast is something really special.
Whilst we're thanking people, Gage, thank you, because it really just like dawned on me that we released The Last Chance, and that was it. That we only did it to release The Last Chance and have a title over it. And to think that you were the person that was pushing us to, like, get together, chat with each other, and actually continue doing these meetups, even though we're not playing Warzone anymore. Or I'm not playing Warzone anymore. And like just to get together, once a week and speak about things, or do the Not KFA Photoshop challenge. Thank you so much, man. Because honestly, this wouldn't be what it is without you. And I feel comfortable saying that.
100%. I want to echo those sentiments exactly, because Gage was the one that was like week to week asking us to be on, do the podcasts, and this show wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Gage. 100% Camille. So thank you, Gage. Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Steve, for coming on the show. And thank you, Kind of Funny. I've said everything I have to say. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's not much more to add to that.
Next up on the show, we're going to have an unboxing of the Ghostbusters thing. Find out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Stick around. I guess I'm not going to properly outro the video because it's technically not over yet. So here are the other thank you videos.
Always wanted to do that.
Thank you. Kind of funny. Because honestly, without you, I just wouldn't be the person I am today. I mean, for starters, none of this would be a thing. I wouldn't have this setup. I wouldn't have these lights. I wouldn't have this camera. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you and the inspiration that all of you gave me to chase my dreams. And I mean, I've said it before. I've talked about it before, explaining why I have my Kind of Funny tattoo and why I'm proud of it every day, but all of you over there are kind of funny in some way or another, have helped me be the person who I am today. You helped me carry the values that I do. You helped me have the mindset that I do, and you've made me a better person than who I was when I first started listening to you. I know for a fact there are many aspects of my life that would be very different, and I would be a different person if it wasn't for all of you guys in different ways. You guys just fucking rule, and I'm lucky to have you, and I know that, and that's why I have this tattoo to remind me how much you guys have helped me be the person I am today, and I like the person I am today a lot better than I like the person I was before. Without you, this wouldn't be possible, and I'm out here chasing my dream because of you, and hopefully one day I'll work for you. That's kind of the ultimate dream, but that's another topic. I love you guys, for real. You guys are the best. Let's hang out sometime. I love you.
Hey, what's up, the Sassy crew? How you doing? This is Alex. You know me by the @SoSchwank on Twitter. Thank you very much for the invitation. Kumail was very generous to send me a DM asking me for this video. So he said short or long, so I'm just gonna talk and you can edit whatever you want with that after. So a big thank you. So yeah, for the kind of funny crew, hi guys and gals, hi everyone. This month, April 2021, marks my 12th year since I first discovered Greg Miller on IGN. I first came to IGN and to Greg Miller in a funny way to learn English. I won't tell the full story, but I came to tell English. And 12 years later, wow, good, that's good. 12 years later, I still don't speak English correctly. I speak way too much, way too loudly for a proper work or life environment. But along the way, I made some great friends. A lot of KFBF in the past few weeks came together and greet me with all the respect and the fun that you can expect. So I just want to thank you all for the big work you're doing every day, and that wonderful community and that wonderful message of acceptance and fun that you have, that you keep saying every day. Thank you very much for that. I hope. It's 12 years this year, and I hope for many, many more. And the only thing I want is be a grumpy old man like Nick and watch Greg on TV for the rest of my life. So that's pretty much it. I could go on and on in details. I have 12 years of story and thank you accumulated inside of me, but I'll keep it short right there. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if I overdressed for that, like a bit too much of a fan, but yeah, that's about it. All right, thank you guys. See you soon.
Hey, kind of funny. My name's Adam. I just want to say thank you for all the content that you do, your positive, uplifting spirits, the community that you've built. If not for kind of funny, I never would have met some of the friends that I've had the pleasure of playing games with and creating content with, and now co-hosting podcasts with. So thank you for everything you do, and I look forward to everything else that you continue to do, and hopefully I get to meet you in person one day.
What does kind of funny mean to me? Kind of funny in a word means friendship, absolutely. It was a couple years ago where I met Kyle Stevenson at a PAX East. He recognized my video games are cool shirt, and he said, "Hey, you're cool." Well, I guess he wouldn't have known I was cool, but I was cool because I was wearing the shirt that said video games are cool. So that's something, I guess. But yeah, we walked around for a little bit, and he invited me to a Facebook group, and invited me to some meetups and some awesome events that the community planned, and I've made so many fantastic friends through those and through, you know, the big infamous New York City meetup, and then even just on Twitch and Twitter and Discord and, you know, all the other things. You know, especially in this past year where we've been so physically isolated, it's been great to meet so many other new awesome people through the community, which is, you know, it's a great community, and you guys should be very proud of what you created. So I guess kind of funny means friendship, and I also say thank you for, you know, creating so many of mine.
What's up, guys? Braden Charisma, aka the official unofficial daddy of Kinda Funny / Twitch, aka the one and only Braden K007 here. Kinda Funny means the absolute world to me. They've been inspirations to me since day one, showing me that anything is possible, literally. Have you seen some of the shit they've pulled off? And because of that, I'm hustling away at content creation, from making videos on YouTube to streaming on Twitch, and I couldn't be happier. They've been a big part in helping me grow into the person I've become today, giving me the confidence to tackle the world and always have a smile on my face, which I'll always be thankful for. Without Kinda Funny, I never would have met all these amazing people, and from the staff to the community, making friendships that will last forever. And so thank you, everyone at Kinda Funny, for being you, and I look forward to seeing you soon and creating content with you someday. I love you all.
Dear Kinda Funny, thank you so very much for all that you all do. Kevin, Barrett, Joey, Andy, Blessing, Roger, Mike, Roger, Blessing, Andy, Greg, Nick, Tim, Andy, Blessing, Greg, Joey, Roger, Mike. I think that was everybody. Pull that up. Cool Greg. Thank you, Cool Greg. Shit. Forgot to put that one in there. Thank you, Cool Greg, and Kinda Funny, for all that you guys do. You know, not just last year, but for most of my life. It's pretty weird that you've been part of my life for a really long time, inspired who I am and who I want to be as a creator and as a person, which is very scary if you think about it, but it's worked out pretty well so far. And for, you know, inspiring and bringing together this community where I've met so many great, wonderful people. You know, I haven't really been that active in the community only for a couple years now, but even in that time, I've, you know, met tons of friends, and I'm really grateful for that. And, you know, Kinda Funny is a big part of that, and why we're all together. So thank you for that. Thank you for, you know, the videos you edit, the podcasts you make, you know, your beautiful voices, your great edits, your engagement with the community, all the hard work that you all do. It's very much appreciated. So thank you. And also, I'm very excited for Gino to be on the Kinda Funny podcast / foot race on land in America. I'm very excited for that. So if you guys like need, you know, somebody like just, you know, like a commentator, and, you know, you have Mike. If you need like me, if you need me for that, let me know, you know, hit me up. Don't be shy. What was I talking about?
So I'd be lying if I said this is a one take one take video. There's gonna be people who can put this in a better way, or use the right words and be able to describe the inside feelings, which are sometimes very difficult to, I don't know, put out there. I'm not the words person. I mean, thank you. Obviously, goes without saying. I think I just want to thank Kinda Funny for like inspiring people, but inspiring people collectively. I mean, there's always like personal aspirations, or like, I like what that person's doing, they're encouraging me to follow my dreams. But like the collective and community natured way Kinda Funny does that is, I think, special, and I mean, I feel really lucky to be a part of. It's like not just you following your own dream, it's like you collaborating and coming together with other best friends and working together to collectively, I don't know, follow ambitions, follow dreams, and just making things happen. I do not know a group of people more than Kind of Funny best friends for just like making stuff happening, having the discussions, and just run with it and creating content and, I don't know, streaming together in the community, or I don't know, organizing tournaments, fundraising events, and like the collaboration and mixing. And that all comes down to the way Kind of Funny you guys nurture and promote that. It's like a top-down type of thing. I don't know, just, I mean, thank you. Thank you for that. Even though I probably didn't explain it very well. I mean, personal thank you. I definitely would not be in the situation I was now if it wasn't for Kind of Funny. I've always loved drawing fan art for various things. There's Doctor Who, Sherlock, like growing up, fan art's being my jam. But it wasn't until like Kind of Funny fan art and the encouragement from other people in the community that I kind of, I don't know, saw in myself a direction I could go with my art where it could be something I did as a real thing, rather than it just being fan art. There was also other ways to I don't know, create and make things. My very first commission was from someone in the Kind of Funny community. Most my commissions now are from the like small like core friendship group I've made through the community, or wider because of the connections I made on Twitter and stuff like that. And the fact I'm streaming art now, if you told me that, like, I don't know, 3 years ago, I don't think I would have thought that'd be something I'd be doing. I mean, again, I'm not a words person. It's tricky to do words. But I don't know. Just thank you for creating a environment of following your heart and positivity and saying about what's right, and I don't know. Just thank you. There we go. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, all the Kind of Funny guys and the community. Oh, and I feel like I'm doing an acceptance speech with these thank yous. I tweeted about it before, but I mean, everyone who supports Kind of Funny helps them do what they do. But for the people who can afford to, or in a position where they can support on the Patreon and directly support Kind of Funny to do the things they do for the rest of us noobs and whatever, thank you to that as well. Yeah, but anyway, okay. Sweet, I'm gonna call it that. Thanks.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to say a big thanks to everything you've done. I met you all, or most of you, in NYC in the Kind of Funny meetup, which was amazing, talking to every one of you. Greg, for staying so late. I was one of the last people to actually walk with you back to that restaurant you were going to. And I just want to say thanks, with you all just doing what you do, providing so much entertainment and a fun place to just hang out with. I've opened up so many different avenues of friendship with the kind of NYC, now 6 One Indie group, as well as massive other groups that I would have never spoken to, not knowing you guys at first, or you all at first. So overall, I just want to say thanks. I do also want to do a special thanks to Andy. It's always good to see that that representation out there as someone who's Ecuadorian, Hispanic, Latino, or Latinx, community. It's always good to see that kind of representation out there. So I just want to say a big thanks as well. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep being amazing, and can't wait for that F9 reaction. Thank you. Bye.
I'm Alex, aka Neo Aoshi, and I want to thank Kinda Funny for creating a community for me to be a part of and grow. Inspired me to join a podcast and stream, and without them, I don't know where I'd be right now. I've been watching Kinda Funny for, oh my god, since the IGN days, since Podcast Beyond, and ever since then, following Greg Miller, Tim Geddes, and Nick Scarpino have been a huge part of my life. I've spent so long listening to Kinda Funny podcasts and find myself laughing and just enjoying the vibe that they create and bring to the greater gaming community and podcasting community. I appreciate them so much. Meeting them in New York back in 2019 was a huge moment. I have a signed Vita right behind me by all the Kinda Funny crew, and I'm going to value and treasure that for a long time. These guys mean a lot. They're close friends that I've yet to meet and hang out with, and it means a lot that they're around doing what they do. So thank you, Kinda Funny, for doing what you do. It's great. It means so much. I can't tell you how much what you've done has helped me grow and struggle through those tough times. So keep doing you guys, and I'll be here watching and listening to you guys. Thank you.
What's up, Kinda Funny crew? It's me, John B of Talk Limited, and I want to thank you guys. Thank you to Greg, Tim, Kevin, Nick, Andy, Joey, everyone over there, Kinda Funny. I want to thank you guys so much for being a continued source of inspiration and for curating one of the best groups and communities that I could ever wish to be a part of.
An absolute huge thank you to the Kinda Funny crew. You guys are the best. Thank you for everything you've done from the bottom of my heart.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Corey Cudney, otherwise known as the GIF guy in the Kinda Funny community. And Kumail asked me if I would make a video thanking the Kinda Funny crew. And are you kidding me? Of course I would make a video thanking the Kinda Funny crew. Without each and every one of you over at Kinda Funny, I wouldn't be anywhere where I'm at today. Probably like physically where I'm at today, I wouldn't be here without you guys. And I think that y'all know that. But thank you guys so much for each and every one of yours direction and guidance and just constant support. It blows me away that y'all supported me in the way and the fashion and just the enthusiasm that you did. And thank you so much. Thank you for giving us this Kinda Funny best friend community that without each and every one of you in the community, who knows what I would do. I wouldn't have a family to call my online community. I wouldn't have anybody that supports me. So, to think of where I would be without Kinda Funny, I would be nowhere. Be making commercials or something. It sucked, man. Actually, I did make a Chick-fil-A commercial one time. It was pretty cool because we got to hang out with the cow and stuff. Like, that's pretty dope. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Mwah.
Hey Sass guys, I heard we're thanking the Kinda Funny crew, so I just want to say thanks guys for keeping me entertained during the long bus rides to and from work and just days when I get home and I've had a rough day or I've had a good day. It's great to have the content around, especially in this shitty time we're in with COVID, so thanks for everything guys.
Kinda Funny has made me laugh, has made me cry, has introduced me to some of the best people and the funniest people that I've ever met and had the pleasure of working with. Every time I listen, I am with friends. The in-jokes, the comedy, the way they talk to each other is always and will always be very special to me. And I can only thank them for introducing me to themselves, first of all, and some of the nicest, kindest, and funniest people I have ever met. Thank you, Kinda Funny.
Hey Greg and the Kinda Funny crew. My name is Josh. I just wanted to thank you for being a constant this year. It's been a pretty rough year for most people, myself included, and having you guys and the content almost every day has been great and kept me pretty sane. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for keeping me going and keeping me happy. And without, the content, I wouldn't have met so many great people over on Twitter, from the Kinda Funny best friends. Yeah, I just want to say, thank you. Bring back KFAF.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me up when I was down. Kinda Funny has gotten me through more things than I can even remember, including starting college, going through my first heartbreak, and dealing with friend and family deaths. Thank you for helping me through the path of life. Without you and your community, I would be completely lost. I've learned how to better interact with others online, how to network, and that it's okay to not be okay all of the time. Thank you for helping me figure out the future in a general sense. Kinda Funny has helped me solidify what I want to do with my life, which is pretty much be Kevin. I questioned whether I was doing the right choice until Kinda Funny best friends gave me multiple opportunities to actually do what my future could entail, and it was like I fell in love all over again with the field. Thank you for introducing me to some of the best friends I have ever made. When I became active in the community, little did I know how close and connected I would get with other best friends. Nowhere else have I met such supportive, friendly, and all-around great human beings. Thank you for making me speechless. It's difficult putting into words how much this company and its community means to me. I thank whatever is out there that I am able to be a part of something so spectacular, meet so many fantastic people, and watch wonderful friends goof around, have the hard talks, and everything in between. And the great thing, it's only getting better as the days go on. Thank you, Kinda Funny, from the bottom of my heart. You have shown me what it is to be a best friend and a person as a whole. Thank you.
From the Elder Slayer here, over in the UK, I just wanted to say thank you and keep up the great work. We love you guys.
Hi, Kinda Funny. My name's Austin Ernst of Waypoint Podcast, and that's pretty significant because without you guys and the best friends, Waypoint Podcast would not exist. Not only would Waypoint Podcast not exist, there's potential that I wouldn't be here anymore because I had a pretty terrible rut of depression, and I had those thoughts, those terrible, terrible thoughts. I'm in a better place now. I sought out help, and a big part of that is because of you guys at Kinda Funny, because your genuine feel with your audience, with the best friends. There's something magical about it. There really is, and I am proud to call myself a best friend, and I'm proud to say that it got me through a rut. And I'm even prouder to say that it helped me start Waypoint Podcast, something I've been terrified of doing for years. I met best friends. I have genuine friends now because of you guys, and that's crazy. And we started something together. And without you guys, that wouldn't be me, and Waypoint Podcast would not exist. Thanks.
Hey Kinda Funny crew, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to all the hard work you've done this year creating content that I know has put a smile on my face and loads of others in a time where we really needed laughs because, as you know, 2020 was tough. So thanks so much. Keep up the great work. I look forward to everything that's upcoming in 2021, and I look forward to the good day that you guys can be reunited as well as the community as a whole, because it's going to be so fun to just meet up with everyone again, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thanks so much. Keep up the great work, and don't forget to look after yourselves as well. Much love.
Thank you, Kinda Funny, from Amanda and our friend Archer. This big guy, Worf. Oliver. Tammy says thank you too.
Hello everyone, my name is Nuno Marques, and this is the story of how Kinda Funny helped me turn my life around. Growing up, I always loved video games. They were my favorite form of entertainment. And I always had this dream in the back of my mind of wanting to work in the video games industry in any way, shape or form. But since I live in Portugal, our industry isn't very well developed. And so this dream was a bit put off by the possibilities of like having an actual life working and having a salary in the games industry in Portugal, because that's very tough and is only getting better in the recent years. Well, I still kept on working on and living my life, and I always have this dream in the back of my mind, even though I kind of gave up on it somewhat. And then I met Kinda Funny. And at Kinda Funny, people like Tim Geddes, people like Andrea Renee, people like Greg Miller always talked about how if you really want to do something, you should go for it. And they helped me come to terms with what I really wanted to do. And so I started embracing like side projects. I volunteered at an indie conference, an indie expo in Portugal. I joined the site for indie games coverage, and a lot of good things happened. I actually even organized an indie competition, international indie competition, and got the chance to host and meet lots of people and make a fully digital event in 2020. I even had the chance to cover E3 and also went to Media Molecule as part of the exclusive Portuguese cover for Dreams. So I was kind of living a dream, but at the same time I still had my regular education and a master's in engineering, but I was not sure what I want to do with my life. I ended up going into a PhD program, and it was awesome at the time. In the beginning I learned a lot of new things, but as time went on I understood that that was not what I wanted to do. But there was a lot of pressure to actually perform and to keep at it. And that coupled with a lot of mental health issues in family and friends, as well as my own academic failures, were piling up, and I went into a bit of apathy and depression. Well, during the pandemic, I kept watching Kinda Funny, as you do, obviously. And they helped me understand that if you really want something, you need to go for it. And so I made an ultimatum to myself. This would be the year where I would finally decide what I wanted to do with my life and decide if I wanted to chase my dreams or not. Well, I spent 6 months sending resumes and CVs everywhere, and I just got a job in Munich in a production and consulting company for video games. So now I'm very glad, and I'm going to live. I'm going to change my life completely. I'm going to move to a new country, go to a new job where I am very inexperienced, and it's kind of all thanks to Kinda Funny for being there and motivating me to follow my dreams and always make me feel like they're worth pursuing, and you should never give up on them, even if things seem very hard. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you very much, Kinda Funny. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Andrea, and everyone else who's been a part of Kinda Funny, because you helped me in my darkest times, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for you. Obviously, a lot of other people as well, but if it wasn't for Kinda Funny, I wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you, guys.
I listen to some podcasts by the Kinda Funny crew more or less every day. Probably makes me look insane walking around outside, laughing away to myself. It probably sounds cheesy, but it's probably the community and friends and Twitter. That's probably my favourite thing. Like the Sassy crew is a great bunch of talented people, and it's all of these mini communities that wouldn't exist without Kinda Funny there. It's great. I wasn't paid to compliment the Sassy crew there, but I wouldn't say no to it. Yeah, good luck.
Hey Kinda Funny crew, just want to say thanks for everything you do for us, and thank you for keeping me sane during these last few months, even if I have been seeing Grover occasionally. Anyway, thanks guys.
Hi guys, just wanted to say a big thank you to all the Kinda Funny staff for everything they've done for the community over the last few years, but especially for over the last 12 months. It's been a time when lives have been put on hold, routines have had to change, but if there's one thing we've been able to rely on, if we needed a distraction from the madness of the last year, is that we could just tune in and catch up on all the amazing content you guys have been providing. I honestly think that the content has been getting better over the last year, and that has to be commended because it really can't have been easy for you guys either. I had the pleasure of meeting some of you guys in the London meet and greet, along with a whole bunch of amazing Kinda Funny best friends, and I really can't wait until we can do something like that again. Take care, and thanks again.
Hey, Kinda Funny team. I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you do to make Kinda Funny one of the best parts of my life. Everything from the daily content that you produce, which is amazing, to the efforts that you make to interact with the community, and for that matter, the community itself. The best friend community is such an amazing group of people. If you're watching this and you haven't dove into the best friend community, jump on Twitch, jump on Twitter, seek out best friends. They're some of the most amazing people you will ever come across. And that said, I can't imagine my life without daily interactions with the best friends and without listening to the content that you guys create on a daily basis. So for everything that you guys create and everything that you all do to make Kind of Funny what it is, thank you all for all the effort. It is greatly appreciated.
It is me, your boy, that Mario Rivera, coming in to say a healthy thank you for everything that you've done. I'm so happy that Simply Sassy asked me to be a part of this and to give my thanks to everything that you've done for both me and the entire community as a whole. You guys honestly have changed so many lives, and so many lives are now intertwined now because of simply you all gather around a table to talk about princesses and stuff. But since then, you've gathered all across the world some of the best fans that I know and people that I've interacted with and hung out and called personal friends that are dear to me. And for everything that you did for me. You took a chance on me in October, and you allowed me to have a platform and do something I really wanted to do, which is talk about games on camera, and allowed me to be seen by so many more people, and people that now believe in me, and people that have supported me now going forward. It's been absolutely a crazy feeling, and it's all because of the chance that you take, and I'm grateful for that chance. I'm also super grateful for the things that you've done in terms of setting up these things that I never thought I would do. I never thought it'd be crazy enough for me to travel from Chicago to an entirely new state for a online video game concert, but I did, and I've cherished every decision I've ever made, including especially prom. Prom was by far my favorite of all the trips, and I'm excited for whenever we can all gather again in the future, hopefully sometime soon. But until then, I love you. I love everything you guys are doing. I cannot wait to see where the studio goes when we see it, and hopefully, when everything is all better, that we could all hang out together again and have a good time. Again, thank you. I love you all. And till next time.
Kind of Funny means everything to me. It means community, it means best friends, it means amazing content. It means always having a place that I can go. It's the reason that I've run a community Zoom for the last nearly year. It's the reason that I hope to be buried with my KFL2 band, and it's the reason that I run the Kind of Funny Museum. Thank you everyone at Kind of Funny.
What's up, Kind of Funny crew? It's me, Frankfurter. About 4 years ago, my buddy Greg, the one who painted all your controllers way back when, not Greg Miller, told me about a podcast that he was super into and really recommended it, thought I would love it, and so I decided to give it a shot. I watched an episode about 15 minutes of a random Game Over Greggy episode, and about 15 minutes into it, I turned it off because I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd heard in a very long time. So fast forward 2 years later to March 18th, 2019, I finally had a commute that was longer than 5 minutes to work and thought I need something to pass the time. And the only podcast I really remembered or knew of was Kind of Funny. So I tuned into my first episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily, and well, on that day I fell in love with a bunch of weird, loud men, and I really haven't looked back since. In these past 2 years, I've mostly online, but some in person, met a bunch of like-minded, wonderful people, and in some cases, some lifetime friends that I know I'm going to keep around for a very long time. And I want to thank you guys for that. Like, honestly, you guys do a lot more than you'll ever know, and that's fine. But I mean, you guys do so much for us, and whether that be presenting the news on a day-to-day basis, providing low, and I mean really low-brow comedy during the pandemic, and all the other dumb entertaining things you do on a day or on every day, it's honestly, we can't thank you enough, and I can't thank you enough. And personally, I can't thank you enough for taking a chance on me. Excuse me. I was recommended to become a mod for you guys, and y'all said, sure, let's have a literal hot dog mod our chat on a day-to-day basis. What could possibly go wrong? Then they introduced channel point predictions. Fucking predictions. Anyways, y'all took a chance on me, and I greatly appreciate that. And you know, it's been a fun ride for me, and I continue to look forward to doing that every day. And I look forward to hearing what random shenanigans come out of y'all's mouth every day, because it genuinely puts a smile on my face, as it does for so many other people. So again, thank you so much for everything you do. I love you guys. I know I'm not the only one, but we all love you. I hope you and all your families the best for the remainder of the year, but you know, just the remainder of this year. And can't wait to see you guys in chat, and we'll talk soon. Love you guys. Bye.
Hey guys, just wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done for us. This last year has been really hard on a lot of people, and alongside giving us a ton of laughs, you've also fostered an amazing community of best friends who are kind, helpful, and compassionate to a fault. I can't count how many times over the last year I've seen a KFBF reach out on Twitter because they're having a bad day or a really, really bad day, only to see a bunch of community members rally around them just to see if they're okay and if they just need someone to talk to. And we couldn't have the Kind of Funny community without the Kind of Funny crew, so thank you so much for all of the laughs and for nurturing this positive, beautiful community.
Hey, it's Tom here, and I just want to say a massive thank you to Kind of Funny.
Thank you so much to Kind of Funny for not only giving me so much everything to watch every week, to connect with so many things, but just all the friends that I have made over the past few years and different communities that I've gotten to be a part of just within the bigger community. The Carl Collective, the Chaos Crew, the Simply Sassy guys. And I don't think I can say thank you enough, because all of these groups and all of these friends that I talk to every day mean more to me than I could ever say. So thank you.
Hey, Kind of Funny crew. Alec Bobko here. And ever since October of 2017, your podcasts and shows have been offering me hours of entertainment and honestly been keeping me sane at work. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You guys have been putting in so much work each and every day, all year long, and believe me, it does not go unnoticed. You guys have created such an amazing community, and I've been able to meet some amazing people and made even better friends, and have honestly inspired me to get into podcasting and streaming. So I, again, just thank you so much. Keep up the amazing work, giving you all that sweet, nasty love. And of course, I gotta sign off with the keep fucking that chicken. Thank you again. Can't wait to meet you guys all someday. And I'll see you on the internet. See ya.
What's up, Kind of Funny crew? It's Matt Grover, the other Grover, here with Grogu, just to say thank you guys for everything that you do. Really, no, you can't use the force on that. Stop.
Shout out to the Kind of Funny crew. Thank y'all for everything y'all do. Love y'all. But also,
Hashtag KFAF. Greg sucks. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Chris, aka RumblePack92. When Simply Sassy reached out to me, they said, hey, we're doing this video as kind of a thank you for Kind of Funny. Are you interested? I said, yes, of course. I would love the opportunity to just be able to say something directly to Kind of Funny and show my gratitude that way. For those of you who might not know, I'm a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/RumblePack92, as well as the co-host of Waypoint Podcast, which you can watch on YouTube and listen to on podcast services. And I'm going to do my best to keep this as short as possible, but because of what the fantastic community that Kind of Funny has put together, I've met some of the greatest friends that I could ever ask for. I've been at day one. It wasn't until like late 2019 that I really started getting active in the community and stuff, and I've met so many incredible people that I haven't even met in person yet, and yet they've still become some absolutely fantastic friendships, and it's such a cool and unique thing that they've fostered, and even that alone would be enough to be super grateful towards them. But I mean, because of what they do on Twitch, and by watching people like Andy and Snowbike Mike streaming on Twitch all the time, they've inspired me to chase after my own dreams. It was watching Kind of Funny a few years back after I had dropped out of school. I was a little lost. I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, where it all kind of clicked, and I saw how they made me feel, and I was like, I want to do that for other people. This is something that I could do and is within my skill set. And last year I finally took the leap, and I'm trying my best to do it myself. Even my wife now is a Kind of Funny best friend as well, and it's so cool to be able to share that passion with her and be able to do all these things. And they've honestly come and impacted my life in a way that I think if I wasn't a fan, my life would look completely different. And even though this is a video like specifically for trying to put it into words, I almost can't. You know, it's such a meaningful thing, and I'm so excited to continue being a fan and being on the journey with you guys. What Kind of Funny has done means so much to me, and I'm excited to see where the road takes you guys. Thank you all.
Hey guys, it's Ree or Ree Cosplay and Dim or Gifted Dim from Twitter, and we're here to tell you what Kind of Funny means to us.
Kind of Funny's always been about the best friends, so I think that I have to congratulate all of us for being best friends and how we all came together from Kind of Funny, and how I've gotten to know so many different people based off of the Kind of Funny community.
Absolutely, and Kind of Funny means to me a way of making new friends. I've met so many new people, and I didn't even know I could.
Hey, Kind of Funny, just want to let you guys know how incredibly awesome you all are, and thank you so much for all the content you make and all the support you give to the community and the Kind of Funny best friends. Thank you guys so much. We love you.
Hey everyone at Kind of Funny. I just wanted to say, you're pretty good, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for being kind of funny.
Thank you guys for creating a community of like-minded people. Thank you for creating a community where I have found so many friends. And thank you for being our friends. Thank you, Greg, for destroying me publicly on Twitter, because I made new friends from that, somehow. And you made me feel like a friend as well. So, even though you kind of hurt my feelings, I was still happy about it somehow. It's weird to say thank you for hurting my feelings publicly. But that's the truth, I guess. I don't. Thank you, Kind of Funny, for everything you do. Truly, honestly, so much.
Is this one on? Hey, it's Ben at Please Be Excited here. Just want to say a huge thank you to everyone at Kind of Funny and everyone involved in the Kind of Funny community. Kind of Funny means the world to me. Kind of Funny's got me through some difficult times in my life. It's there for you in the good times and the bad. knowing that no matter what you're going through in your life, you can turn on an episode, have a good laugh, and forget about things, even for a moment. Most importantly, Kind of Funny is about community. It's about family. It's about friends. It still amazes me the incredible positivity and generosity I see in the community on a daily basis. It's about people looking out for one another, looking after each other, and spreading positivity. I've made incredible lifelong friends from the community. Can't thank Kind of Funny or its community enough for everything they've done for me. But what I can do is to continue to try and pay it forward and spread the positivity anywhere I can. Thank you again to everyone at Kind of Funny, and keep doing what you're doing.
What is up, Kind of Funny? Holy crap. It is the one and only right here. It is Asa, the best guest, a card-carrying member of Vita Island, and your best friend. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for having me on, for championing Native and Indigenous voices, but so much more. You all have been crushing. You've been doing so much, and we see that. The community sees it, they recognize it, they validate it, and we just wanted to say thank you. You have done so much, not only for each other and for the industry, but for your community. The Kind of Funny Best Friends is more than just a moniker. It's more than just a label, a hashtag. It is a way of life. In being best friends, like you always say, like it's not just us being best friends with each other, but it's also being best friends with you, feeling that real connection. And that's, again, something that's very difficult to do, but also is so necessary, especially with the way that the world has been within the past year and a half, probably 2 years and more. But either way, thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for just continuing to innovate on what you're doing, to continue to pump out stuff, is to make the Blessing Show in dreams. Like you guys are doing so much for us, and we just greatly appreciate it. You know, you've been such a huge inspiration to so many in the community, including myself, to go out there and make content, and we're forever grateful for that. So, from all of us to you, thank you, and above all else, be well, and as always, it's your pleasure to serve us. Thanks.
Hey guys, you probably don't know who I am. You probably see my name around a few places, but I'm Caesar Towers on everywhere. And in short, just thank you. You all have saved my life. There was a moment where there's been a lot of moments in recent history where I could not have been here the next day. And for one reason or another, you guys are responsible for me still being here today. You guys have brought me so much laughter, so much joy, so much hope, so much friendship, so much love. And not when I say friendship and love and hope, it's also like kind of indirectly through you guys, because you've given me some of my best friends. People I'm very proud to say that they are in my life and they've made an impact on me. And I feel like I might have made an impact on them too. And it's all because of it's a bunch of guys, a group of friends, gathering on these microphones. It's just talking about whatever they want to talk about. Yeah, just thank you for changing my life.